I need to talk about Bam. Bam is an energetic blue deer who is obsessed with working out. He's been on my island in Animal Crossing New Horizons since the very beginning and spends his day sitting along rivers, pretending to be a plane and talking non-stop about how many squats he's done or how much he can lift. Let it be clear, I hate Bam. I think everyone's met a Bam at some point in their life. He's the guy in your office who is nice enough but whose whole personality is based on the fact that they go to the gym. He's good looking, energetic, and great at everything he sets himself to. And he wants the best for you. He wants to see you become the ultimate version of yourself. He is my enemy. Has Bam done anything specific to wrong me? No. Does he try his best to make the island a nice place to live? Of course. Should he be placed in jail for the rest of time? Absolutely. But let's step away for a second and stop talking about Bam. Today we're talking about Animal Crossing New Horizons, the newest release in Nintendo's calm and quirky life sim series about moving to a village or town or island and living your days there with some animal companions. There's been a number of these released before and they tend to follow a similar pattern. Move to town, get given house by capitalist Raccoon, spend your days earning money to pay off your new debts to Raccoon, increase house in size, get new debts, rinse and repeat, all the while building up your town from a rundown place no one would ever want to live into a socialist utopia where we will finally overthrow the bourgeoisie that have trodden us down for so very long. New Horizons sticks to this formula, but it's on an island, and you can craft stuff. It's also the best version of Animal Crossing and, not to be hyperbolic, a perfect encapsulation of what Animal Crossing has always wanted to be. An escape from the hustle and bustle of everyday life to a place that is constantly pleasant, and where even very basic actions have value. Where there are animal friends eager to be a part of your day. And looking at the world now, as people are forced to lock themselves away and avoid contact with others, the new world that Animal Crossing New Horizons gives us couldn't have come at a better time. But what makes Animal Crossing's world so engaging? Animal Crossing has never been a big open world game. The island you inhabit is small, taking about 20 seconds to run from left to right, and another 20 seconds to run from the bottom to the top. That's it. That's the area the game takes place in. And yet since it released, I've already spent 65 hours in the game, the majority of which I've spent on my own island. That's about the same amount of time as it took me to play through Breath of the Wild for the first time, and that world is massive, so what is it that keeps me invested in something so small? A big part of that is how the game is set up so that every one of your interactions with the game is you interacting with the world itself. While most games put their minute decision making into in-game menus divorced from the game world, Animal Crossing has always made it so that the things you're doing make sense for the world that you inhabit. Things like accessing the map of your town or looking at your current tasks is done through your Nook phone, which your character pulls out of their pocket to look at before a menu pops up. Want to visit a friend's town? While in other games such as Minecraft, this would involve bringing up a menu, finding the friend's server, and then essentially teleporting yourself into it, Animal Crossing has you go to the airport, speak to the little dodo manning the desk, go through a number of speech options to decide where you want to go, before finally hopping into a plane and flying to your destination. Not going to lie, it's a bit of a hassle and would be so much quicker if it just used the same options as games like Minecraft with its server hopping, but doing it this longer, more drawn out way is so important to the ethos and feel of Animal Crossing that I find it hard to be mad at it. At no point does Animal Crossing want you to feel like you're disengaged from its world. It wants you to be fully immersed in what it's doing at all times, and if that means having to go the long way around to connect to a friend's town, then so be it. This attitude of the game doesn't always work out, however. Only being able to craft one thing at a time may make sense in-world, but turns a cool crafting system, which is a first for the series, into an unfun chore that I only engage with when I absolutely have to. Similarly, tools breaking without warning to encourage you to get involved in the crafting and to routinely collect materials is a gameplay loop which seems like it would be fun on the surface, but for those looking just for the relaxing Animal Crossing experience, becomes an unwanted annoyance. I don't want to think about whether my fishing rod is going to break mid-fishing trip, or my bug net will be destroyed just as I notice the one bug I haven't caught yet, and including such a thing seems against what the game's initial intentions of a world of relaxation were. My other main gripe comes with the online system. While I praise the idea of not suddenly teleporting to the other person's town in a world-breaking way, the actual receiving of visitors to your island is a nightmare. Visitors can only come one at a time, and every time a new visitor shows up, everyone in your town needs to sit through a loading screen while you wait for them to arrive. It leaves the online system feeling incredibly dated and does mean that I feel less inclined to open my gates unless I know only 1 or 2 people will be coming over, which is a real shame. Those are just a few areas where the game falls down, however, and it's easy to look past them when the rest of the game has improved so much to previous titles. You're now given significantly more direction at the beginning of the game, whereas players of previous games in the series sometimes bumped into a wall where they didn't know what to do. New Horizons gives you many tasks to keep you busy, and even incorporates a micro-achievement system called Nook Miles that encourages you to interact with your island more than you usually would. And what an island it is to interact with. The game is beautiful, with incredible attention to details in all aspects. Trees have individual leaves that blow in the wind, and the moon in the sky follows real-life moon patterns, even matching what hemisphere you're in. The villagers in your town interact with the world even more than before. You can see them sniffing flowers, identifying bugs, performing yoga in the town square, and even singing along to music. The world of Animal Crossing has always felt alive, with the towns waking and sleeping along with your real-world clock. Yet the level of life that your villagers display in this one helps that feeling even more. Although with the introduction of the Nook Mile system, sometimes you can see the cogs turning behind the scenes more than you could before, which does destroy the illusion a little bit. The music too is some of the best in the series, at times relaxing and others upbeat and jolly, encouraging you onwards as you work through your tasks. It's just a shame it takes a week until you can hear most of it. I love being a part of this world, and sometimes just want to spend some time in my town. But if I've done my activities for the day, then remaining in my town would typically involve wandering around aimlessly with nothing to do. Thanks to the Nook Mile system, however, I can give myself micro projects, so I can happily remain in the town for longer while still having things to engage with. And that's the biggest praise I think I can place on the game, that it gives you a place you want to not just play in, but that you want to be a part of. Animal Crossing doesn't give you a game to play, it gives you a place, a world, to escape to. I mentioned before that New Horizons couldn't have come at a better time, and I mean it. We're in a world of lockdown at the moment, a world of social distancing, where normal life has been interrupted, upended, and replaced by crippling anxiety about where we go next and how we recover. Many of us won't have properly seen our friends in weeks, imprisoned in our homes with no real routine to follow. Animal Crossing New Horizons gives us a place to escape to when none of that exists, and where we can, even if just for a short while, have a sense of place, routine, and pleasantness again. Obviously it's not a cure-all, and I'm not saying it fixes any of the major problems that people are going through, but as an escape, and a way to experience some sort of life while stuck indoors, then I personally can't think of anything better. Which brings me back to BAM. How can I say that Animal Crossing is the perfect escape when there's this blue asshole that I hate so much? Shouldn't I get rid of BAM and make my town a more peaceful place? I don't think so. In real life, you don't like everyone you come across. There are people you have to interact with in your everyday life that you may butt heads with, or who you don't engage with but the sight of them brings a slight bit of annoyance to your day. That's life. And so BAM is an important part of bringing the sense of normalcy that a lot of us so desperately crave right now. My hatred of BAM rounds out the sense of being Animal Crossing is going for. So for that, I am thankful for BAM, even if he is a smug bastard.